This is Mike Klingler. It's Friday, February 16th, and I wanted to give you a quick update on USI. A lot of you saw the email that went out today, and it is fairly exciting, but I want to caution you. In fact, just reading the post that I shared here in our USI discussions group, it said, well, positive news from USI is abound. After all we've been through, I encourage you to hold some caution with the optimism, but nonetheless, I'm excited too. Uh, a lot of people shared some excitement. Someone said, just read the email also, praying for the best outcome. Someone else had shared great news, but scary to see everyone waiting for the withdraw button. And I think that's what a lot of people are concerned about. Someone else wrote, if they put that withdraw button back, it's going to be the largest mass exodus in history. So obviously, USI is in a tough spot still, but it is exciting. I'm going to read that letter to you in case you didn't get it. And even if you did, I'm going to just kind of share some additional thoughts and things that they might be referring to and what we can expect this coming week. Uh, I do want to talk a little bit more about the caution that I'm really encouraging people to have. Now, before I do, I want to acknowledge that a lot of people get upset when I say that because they feel like I'm somehow not having faith in USI. Listen, I put 18-hour days, day in and day out, sacrifice a lot of time with what's most precious to me, which is my time with my children. And when I was with them, I had basically one eye half open because I was focused so hard on contributing so much to USI. I gave them tremendous faith and my trust. And while I can appreciate and understand the challenges, there comes a point in time where it's irresponsible not to stand up and say, look, it's time for you to deliver. Maybe not deliver everything that you promised, maybe not deliver on everything in the time that you promised, maybe even not deliver in exactly what you promised, but to deliver something reasonable. Now, if they follow through on what they're promising in this letter, and I'll read that in a minute, then I will be applauding them and I will be very excited. Will I be promoting them? No, not until I am 100% confident that I can do so in the United States. I have many concerns with regulatory compliance from a couple of states, and until that's more clear, I will not be promoting them. And that's why I'm moving on to building a business with the Autobot software so we can build Bitcoin in a way that can't be construed as security and where no one else is holding our Bitcoin, so there can't be any shenanigans. But nonetheless, I had put 5 months of my hard work into USI, incredible work, and everything that I earned back, I put back into the tech coin. So I don't think there's anybody more. And plus, I got this major health challenge. Like I have a lot of motivational reasons, incentives to be all for USI, but I also feel responsible to people who were following my journey and my story and the things that I was doing with USI and who put money into BTC packages or TechCoin, and I need to be responsible to them. And so those of you who don't understand that, like just try, again, you can have your own opinion and so forth, but try to understand there needs to be an element of being responsible to those people who, for example, I got an email the other day from somebody who bought more BTC packages in the United States and was upset and wondering why there wasn't a withdraw button and why she wasn't getting the ROC that she thought she was going to get. And she's in her 80s. Like I feel a moral and ethical obligation to those people to let them know that this is a very challenging time for USI, and USI cannot continue. And supposedly they're not intending to, but you've got to be really clear here. There's a point in which people need to all stand up together and say you cannot continue to take in funds as an organization and then not fulfill your obligation on the back end. There's a time where that can't be allowed. I'm giving them 3 more weeks. Now they're saying that things are going to happen positive this week. Awesome. But if they miss their timeline again, I'm giving them actually a couple days shy of 3 more weeks because I announced it the other day. I'll find the exact date and share that with those of you that are in this USI discussions group later. But about 3 weeks. And if they don't deliver at least paying back principal, not the commissions, I don't care if I get paid, paying back principal to the grandmas and the uncles and the brothers and the sisters who never even promoted it, but put in their money and trusted USI and didn't promote it They need to at least start paying back some principal to them and in a reasonable fashion, not where you hit the withdraw button and you wait 6 weeks. And that's really my message. If USI, if you're listening, or if the leaders are listening, you want to pass this on. Some things that I've shared previously did get passed on, and we're seeing better communication. I don't know if that had anything to do with with my efforts and in the team in this group, but nonetheless, we're seeing better communication. USI, you have to fulfill what you say you're going to do. You have to lower expectations, lower promises, so that you can meet those and build confidence back in the company. If that means paying no commissions out for a while to those who promoted USI, if that means not paying return on capital, the extra, because you don't have the funds to do so, and it just means lowering the amount people can withdraw, but when they click that button and they withdraw it to get principal back, to get some back, it's what they're expecting and it's coming in a reasonable period of time. And you really shouldn't make people wait days for it. It should come right away. If you want to build confidence, let the Bitcoin come right away. It's just a really bad sign when someone clicks to withdraw and they have to wait a long time to get it. Even a couple days is ridiculous. If you want to build confidence back, lower expectations, lower the amount of people that can withdraw, like commissions. Okay, if you can't hang it, you can't do it, and don't let people withdraw commissions yet till you build the strength of the company back. But let people at least start drawing some of their principal back that they put in. You can't hold that back and expect to keep taking in funds as a company and do well, and do things in a timely fashion. Then you might be able to pull off this miracle. And I'm all for it, guys. So those that are upset with me for thinking I'm taking too sharp of a tone, I've lost faith, I'm contributing to making it harder to them, you need to understand there's a point in which we need to have some reason and some responsible communication to those out there that have continued to put more resources in when the company is clearly in a challenging position. And we can't just continue to exuberantly, excitedly promote and share and encourage under those circumstances and be responsible. Now, I'm going to read the letter in a minute. It does sound very positive. For those of you on the other side who are haters, who are putting all of your negative energy and hostility even, I mean, just real disgusting language, like there's just loathing hatred towards people like me and people in USI. Listen, I'm not your enemy. And if you're dead set on me being your enemy, fine, but you need to understand there's some serious issues out there that you could be directing the energy into that's way more important. Sex trafficking, for example, child abuse. Like there is some really tough, bad stuff going on out there, and there's some causes that you could put that energy behind. This should not be at the top of the list. There's something off if you are making people like me your enemy. I'm not your enemy. If you're dead set on it, fine. I'm not interested. There's more productive things, more constructive things that you could be doing. There's people who really need your help out there. There's kids out there all over the world. There's causes that you could get behind and put that energy into. And there's some real bad people out there that you could go, and there's some people that need you to defend them. If you have an opinion about this, that's fine, but let's enter into it with an adult conversation. We don't need to be derogatory and destructive and just downright cruel to people. If you're dead set on that, that's fine. That's who you are. But it's not my world. So with that said, if those who want to join the USI discussions group, by the way, and be a part of this conversation, feel free. We've been able to keep it constructive and positive. Haven't had to remove a lot of people. Again, I like freedom of speech and all that, but not at the expense of having a constructive, positive place. Within reason. Obviously, I'm sharing, not just the upside of all of this, I'm also sharing the reality and the challenges and the reason for caution too. If that is reasonable to you, come on in to the USI discussions group. Should be a link around this video and join us. Let me read the letter and talk a little bit more about what we might be able to expect. Someone had posted this. I'll just go ahead and expand it and read it to you. I don't know if this is going to be clear or not in terms of visual, but I will read it to you. USI wrote, and by the way, if you got this email, fantastic. A lot of people didn't. I didn't for some reason. And also, even those who did may not know everything that they're referring to. So I'll cover some of that and some of my thoughts before we close this out. We are delighted to share with you some good news before the weekend and confirm that we have finalized the changes to our systems in order for us to resume a normal operational business next week. Okay, I don't know what normal operational business means, but they'll say here in a minute, they're coming out with a newsletter, I think, to break all that down. To me, it should mean we have a withdraw button in every country, and that everybody who contributed Bitcoin, their own hard-earned money that they used to buy Bitcoin that they gave and entrusted to USI, I'm assuming that there'll be a withdraw button for all those people to take something of that out. I understand they might need to, control that to some extent so it doesn't collapse the company. To be responsible to everybody, they don't want to collapse the company, so they should set limits. They should probably, I'm not going to dictate it, but whatever it is that they need to do so that they can climb out of this huge hole that they're in, I'm all for it. If that's going to mean that they have a chance to fulfill all of their obligations to everybody. But again, going back to what I was saying earlier, they need to lower expectations to the point that they can actually deliver, or they will never build confidence back. And those of you that are upset with me for having a sharp tone about that, look, that's not me. That's universal law. Like you can't continue to expect to take in funds as an organization and continue to put out all these amazing promises and milestones and not hit them over and over again, and even take away the withdraw button, or have it take 6 weeks for some people in other countries to get that. You can't survive that way. That's just a matter of fact. We got to be able to say that out loud and acknowledge that without that being like a negative. That's just got to be. So whatever normal operational business is this coming week, let's hope normal operational business means they start hitting more of what they promise and delivering more of what they promise than not, because that's normal operational business to me. That would mean a withdraw button. And no, I don't want a mass exodus, because that could collapse the company. So USI leadership, my recommendation, set whatever limits you got to. Make them clear, set them low, and you can build from there. But just don't have a situation where people are withdrawing and then waiting many, many days to get it, or weeks even to get it. Do what you got to do and communicate it and follow through, and you can build confidence back that way. The changes became necessary due to the issues already stated in previous correspondence. So they're referring back there, for those who missed it, to when the company said that 100 million or hundreds of millions, wasn't clear, but a huge amount of funds were basically stolen or stripped or taken from the coffers because of a glitch or an oversight in their system structure. I don't know. More clarity around that would have probably helped people believe it. I'm not saying it's not true, that that's not what happened. Maybe it was a factor of many things. Even publicly traded companies who have to disclose a lot don't disclose everything. They're not required to disclose everything to us. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true or not, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Those of you who are haters, you don't have to. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because that puts people in the best position to be able to see if this company can survive. But again, I agree with everybody that's down on things right now. I agree with you that they need to resume to normal operations. That means they need to fulfill their obligations, obviously. That's a given. And like I said, I think I said in this video, in 3 weeks, if that isn't happening, I'm going to ramp up my voice in saying enough is enough. But I'm going to give them 3 weeks. Why 3 weeks? I just decided I can't go any longer than that. Like, I'm going to give them 3 weeks. If they don't hit these milestones, I'm going to give them 3 more weeks. And I'm going to use this group to ramp up. Again, I'm not going to get cruel and ridiculous like some of these haters. I'm going to try to constructively and positively, build alliances with the company. And I don't know, got to do something, man. We can't just stand by. So I hope they hit these targets this week. And those of you who are upset with me for having kind of a sharp tone, not having 100% faith, look, we've got to be responsible. We've got to be responsible. I am all for them, and I've said this before. I will kiss Horst's feet, not because of what I get out of it. If they pull this off, I will kiss his feet when I see him. Never done that before, out of respect. Because if they pull this off, then we'll know that their intentions were always in the right place, and he went through hell and back to pull it off. And I won't do that because of what I get out of it if they succeed, but because I really care about all the people that are in USI, particularly the ones who were following my journey, because I was going ablazing and a lot of people were watching. I got caught up in the excitement and participated. And I care about them, and I care about them getting their their funds back. So I will kiss Horst's feet. I will, if he pulls this off. And everybody sees their funds back. I don't even care if they get their RO, the extra. I will think it's absolutely amazing if he can pull out of this. But it is a challenging position indeed. So it says that they're going to, okay, I'll read that again. The changes became necessary due to the issues already stated in previous correspondence, and vigorous testing of our new system will take place over this coming weekend. This makes me a little concerned. It says the testing will ensure that there are no unpleasant surprises as we look to go live Monday the 19th. So USI is not known for hitting their milestones. I'm really concerned they're not going to hit this one. It's concerning. They're setting it up where they still might not. How much further can they go? Again, I'm drawing my line in the sand 3 weeks from now. Actually, a little couple days shy of that because I announced it the other day. I'll find the exact date soon. We've got to at some point say you can't keep taking in funds and not fulfilling your obligation on the back end. You just can't. We can't stand for that. There's got to be a line in the sand on that. I'm giving it 3 weeks. That's just where I am at. I can't go any further. So hopefully they fulfill it this week. I'm a little concerned about this wording. But I'm giving them 3 weeks, even if they fall short. A fully comprehensive communication of all the changes. Now, this sounds good. I don't know why it's so late, but this sounds good. A fully comprehensive communication of all the changes and what they mean to you will go out in our newsletter on Monday so that everyone is prepared. So we're supposed to be getting a lot more details about all of this. Probably, I'm hoping, has to do with who's going to be able to withdraw money and how much, because I'm assuming they're not going to allow people just to take out all the extra. They're just probably trying to make it so people can get at least their principal back and start building confidence back, but the company back, and then maybe get to the point where they can. I don't know. That's what they're going to detail, I hope, in this newsletter coming out this Monday. It has always been our intention to safeguard our customers and business partners for the long term and give you a fully transparent platform to work from. Now, I know that haters are just scoffing at that, laughing at that, think you're more gullible for believing that. But look, my opinion is that that's actually true. It could turn out I'm wrong. But I just don't think they would still be fighting this hard. It would be absolutely ridiculous that they were doing any of this. And I know some of you think that's what's happening. I believe that it has been their intention to safeguard their customers. I believe they're phenomenal genius promoters and marketers, but maybe their strong point, well, we know their strong point is definitely not implementation. Doesn't mean they can't pull it off from here, though. Doesn't mean they haven't learned some lessons. I think they're doing their best. It is an incredibly challenging task, especially from where they're at right now. But the fact that they're still here does deserve some respect, unless it's all one big scam. But I really don't believe it at this point. Like, they're way too vulnerable. It wouldn't make any sense. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it once it's proven. And it's not about proving it now, guys, because they're still fighting for it. I'm giving them 3 weeks. So I don't want to hear it for 3 weeks. I'm trying to give you as sensible of a perspective as I can and give them time out of respect for everyone who's been in USI. Give them a little bit of time to fulfill all of this. And I agree, time's almost up. So if you're a hater, I mean, you just give them 3 weeks. At least give them a week. See what happens. We are excited about the future and what it holds for us all, and would again like to thank you for your understanding and continued support and wish you a very pleasant weekend. So, newsletter coming Monday, apparently. Back to normal operational business this next week, apparently. The saga continues, but it seems to be coming down to a single point, which is this week. I am excited. I am cautious. I feel I am being reasonable. If you disagree, that's fine. If you think I am holding too sharp of a tone toward USI, try to understand my position and being responsible to those people, like the woman who wrote me in, who's in her 80s, who just spent more money on BTC packages, not understanding why there wasn't a withdraw button. I don't want those kinds of emails. Try to understand that someone in my organization got a subpoena from the state of Washington about USI. I don't know what's going to come out of that. I don't know what that is. Until I'm clear on these things, I have concerns. And I'm going to share those because it's irresponsible not to. But I am also rooting for USI. And I have a if I'm right that their intention's in the right place and they've just gone through the hard knocks and they're fighting, I have a lot of respect for them. If I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. I'm giving them 3 weeks. So haters, you can respect that or not. Again, I think your energy could be spent fighting for more important causes. This is the one you want to fight for, that's fine, but understand the level of anger and hostility, it's not deserved. There are other industries like the sex trafficking industry that deserves that kind of hatred and loathing towards the criminals. So I encourage you to go place that energy elsewhere and be a hero for some real people. If you want to have a voice here, fine, but bring a mature voice to it. And those of you who think I'm too harsh on USI, please try to be understanding and respect the fact that at some point, somebody in my position needs to draw a line and say it's time to deliver, and to be responsible and say, look, based on the things that I'm seeing, the challenges in the United States, from state to state, from a regulatory perspective that seem not addressed yet, based on the fact that they've been taking in funds and there's been no withdraw button for a lot of people. These are real concerns and I need to voice them. It's irresponsible not to. So try to be understanding of that as well. If you disagree, that's fine. I am in support of USI in terms of seeing what happens next, giving them space. We've created a USI discussions group that I've maintained to be very, very positive. We remove anybody in there that's not constructive and positive. So if you want to join that group, there might be a link somewhere around this video. And you can be a part of that discussion, but it does need to be constructive and positive. If after 3 weeks, or even a few more days short of that, it's still kind of where it's at right now, we're going to need to band together and do something. I don't even know what. And I don't want to have that conversation until that 3 weeks is up. I'm going to give them that time. And if I'm right, I respect the heck out of these guys. If I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. We'll know soon, won't we? Exciting, but let's have some caution as we move forward and support USI.